Today's topic is no doubt going to be a split topic. Some are going to feel one way, others are going to feel another way. It's not a bad thing no matter how you feel about this topic, but today we're going to talk about the virtual queuing system at Walt Disney World. Is it working? Why is Disney taking it away? And is the new way that they're doing this better than before? I want to dive into it, give you a few of my thoughts and what I've been seeing around the parks. Just the other day, Disney officially released Remy's Ratatouille Adventure to the standby queue, meaning that you no longer have to check in at 7 a.m. to get on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. For some of us, this is a great thing. You can just go and experience the park, have a great time. It means less planning, less having to know where you'll be on a certain day, and less having to kind of structure the day based on the single time you'll go on one ride. So for many, it's an immediate positive. There were a lot of friends who would try and get a virtual pass for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure or Rise of the Resistance when it used the virtual queuing system, and within seconds would be completely blocked out for the entire day and couldn't get another boarding group or another virtual queue pass, basically. This is an opportunity for Disney to kind of see what works and what doesn't. Think of this as like a test. They're testing to see if these kind of lines work. And for a while they did, but now we're seeing how they're kind of not. When Rise of the Resistance was using the virtual queue, they would be gone within seconds, as I mentioned. And now that they don't have the virtual queue, it's usually between maybe 2 hours, I've seen an hour and a half, maybe even 3 hours to wait for Rise of the Resistance. Now you do have the ability to skip over this with Lightning Lane, which is likely Disney's primary motivation for switching from the virtual pass to Lightning Lane. And although it is definitely profit driven, the question is, why take away the virtual queue at all? Disney's original plan, or at least what we understood of it, was that more guests would spend more money if they were not standing in line for the part of the attraction that they were there for, right? So Rise of the Resistance, instead of standing for 3 hours, a guest would walk around the park and do something else. But my guess is that Disney saw the numbers come out and saw that guests weren't actually just spending more money. They may have been going on different rides. They may have been getting something else, like just doing something else, taking pictures, whatever it is, and not spending the amount of money that Disney was thinking they would. So instead, they've changed this up, right? They've changed the strategy so that instead of, hoping that guests will spend money and, allowing them to just walk around the parks and enjoy it, guests now have to stand in line or be forced to pay money to get the Lightning Lane reservation. I want to be clear, you do not have to pay the money. You can wait in the line, but it's your choice. Wait in a pretend 2.5 hour line for Rise of the Resistance, taking that as just an example, or pay an additional, let's pretend it's $12, possibly $15, to go on Rise of the Resistance without much of a queue at all. Disney's new plan seems to have worked pretty well because the Lightning Lane that we see for Rise of the Resistance has been sold out time and time again. Even on days that aren't super crowded, they're just not available for purchase. Disney has made the money that they want to make from selling the Lightning Lane, and those guests who purchase Lightning Lane have the opportunity to go ride the ride and not wait in the line. For those who are waiting in the line, you probably will still get a chance to ride it, just you'll have to wait for that queue to clear out. The question that I want to answer today is, was it a good strategy? Does this current strategy work for Disney, and is it in the guests' best interest? Like many things that we experience in the world today, there are two sides of this. One, yes, it does make more sense because then the guests don't have to wake up at 6:55 in the morning in order to click that button and hope to get a pass for Rise of the Resistance. And if they don't, maybe family members are disappointed that they don't have the opportunity to ride the latest ride at Walt Disney World. Counter to that is that you have the ability to just kind of wait in the line, and then if you want to go and you want to wait in the line, you can wait in the line and you'll get the opportunity to ride. Especially if you're there first thing in the morning, you'll get a chance to ride. It may take a couple hours, but you'll get there. As we mentioned, you can skip the line by paying for Lightning Lane. You do have to wake up a bit early to get that reservation simply because they do sell out very quickly. So Disney is making that money, but allowing guests to continue to experience the attraction if they want to. In my opinion, there's a lot of positives here, right? No longer have to wake up early, and if you want to go and you want to wait, you can do it. It's great, you don't have to worry about it. It's less to kind of have to think about, have to plan in advance of your trip. And I've spoken to many friends who are really just tired of having to go through all of these, steps to plan a trip. Instead, they just want to go and have a great time and just not even think about any, advance, waking up at 6:55 in the morning. For many guests, that is not their idea of fun. So I think Disney has really understood that that's where guests are coming from, and they don't want to make that a requirement to go on some of the most popular attractions at Walt Disney World. The counter argument to this is that the Lightning Lane is pushing the standby line to extreme lengths, meaning that Disney is letting Lightning Lane guests go in much faster and hop ahead of everyone at an extreme rate. Maybe one standby goes for 10 Lightning Lane. That is a totally made up number, by the way, but it's just to give you an example of what there are feelings of around the Disney community. There are many who feel that, you know what, this is a tactic to make money, and Disney's really trying to push Lightning Lane as hard as possible so guests will want to spend the extra money and not have to wait in that line. In a perfect world, FastPass would still be free. I fully agree with that. I really wish that it was, but Disney has kind of taken the assessment of the community, and we can see by all the Lightning Lanes selling out that that's just not going to happen. Not now and not in the future. Clearly, there are guests who are willing to pay to go on these attractions and skip the line. And let me tell you, if you're not coming to Disney that frequently and you really want to go and you want to make the most use of your time, it might be worth it to you. I can 100% understand it. I really do. It's a very personal decision. It has to come down to your specific wants and needs. With Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, we did see a very long line on that first day, 90 minutes here, and by the mid-afternoon, it was about 60 minutes, which is great. You know, that's much shorter than I was expecting for one of the latest attractions at Walt Disney World. But it's an opportunity for guests to go on the attraction and not have to plan way in advance, which is great. The counter here, again, they're not offering a single rider line. Now, this may seem like a very basic thing to some, and it's totally understandable, but at the same time, for many of us, it is a very clear indication that Disney is very interested in the profit that they get from each attraction each day. I mean, they're seeing the numbers, right? Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Rise of Resistance Lightning Lane are gone very quickly most days. So it indicates that a lot of people are paying for it. A lot of people, are just happy to pay for it. Maybe it's the once-in-a-lifetime vacation. You pay for it, you go, and then you're on your way. But those single riders who are not paying for it have to wait in the line with all the other families. This is a sticking point for some, especially those who like to go to Disney by themselves a lot. Like, you have to stand in the line with everyone else. There are many attractions where you do have to stand in a line with everyone else, and that's totally understandable. But an attraction like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, where you could easily, party of 5, just single. Disney's done that for so long. For them not to do it with Remy's Ratatouille Adventure shows the strategy that they're currently using. They want to make sure that they are maximizing the profits from Lightning Lane, and then if you want to stand in line, you have the ability to do so. So what is Disney going to do in the future? What's the plan to continue this method to kind of go along here? I think with the next attraction that'll be opening at Walt Disney World in the late spring of 2022, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which, by the way, I am super excited about. I actually saw it, the kind of side of it as it was doing the Run Disney race. It was so cool. Construction crews working all the time to get it ready for all of us. And there are going to be some test rides I'm sure we'll be hearing before you know it. It's going to be great. But Disney's no doubt going to start that attraction with the virtual queuing system. The reason for it is that the line for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind would reach 6 hours opening day, no question. Immediately, instantly, no question. And Disney doesn't really want that to happen. It means guests are going to have to get in line and get out of line. Disney's going to have to work with the snaking queue that goes all around the parks. It's just not what Disney is prioritizing. They want to make sure that we can, keep the parks fun and safe, and those long lines just aren't really working. So instead, they're going to start with the virtual queue, similar to Remy, run for a few months with that. That's my guess. And then once, things have started to calm down and more people have gotten a chance to experience it, they'll open it up for standby. I have a feeling it'll probably be a longer process than we saw with Remy, but not quite as long as we saw with Rise of Resistance. That being said, you never know what Disney's got up their sleeves. Needless to say, there's a ton of excitement about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. My prediction for Lightning Lane is the same as when I made the initial video about it. The process for Lightning Lane is still here. It's going to be around for a while, but I do not think it's sustainable. I personally don't. I think that after a significant period of time, I don't know how long it'll be, there will be a point where guests just don't have the real strong desire to use Lightning Lane, and they're going to have to transition to something else, whether it be Lightning Lane 2.0 and they're kind of modify the system or change the pricing structure or something like that. I think that this is not sustainable in the very long term. But that being said, Disney's having a great success with it now. It's great, as long as they're, continuing to roll and creating new experiences for all of us, which is really what we're going for, right? That's the key. eventually I think this will have to change. With the increased attendance all around Walt Disney World, Disney is going to have to start to think about how they're going to increase the infrastructure. We talked about this many times. There's going to have to be something that expands more. There's got to be more because more guests are continuing to come to Disney. And although they're seeing the charts that say that this is going to continue to increase and increase, it's really important that they follow along with that trend so that people don't feel like they're, having to wait in 2-hour lines everywhere they go. Disney's meant to be some, e-ticket attractions, others, A-ticket attractions where you just go on 5-10 minute wait and off you go, right? Some are meant to be super long, some are going to be a little bit shorter. I feel like that's kind of the key solution here at Disney. Those are a few of my thoughts about Lightning Lane and the experience you get at Walt Disney World, the standby line. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the priority here is those profits and really just everything they can do for Lightning Lane now and in the future? Or do you think that this is all meant to kind of change the guest experience in the park? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.